Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to a tactical analysis video. This is Tifosi Culture TV and I'm Hotshot, and today we are going to be doing a tactical analysis of the Derby Della Madonnina, where the Nerazzurri won convincingly 3-0 with Lautaro scoring a brace and Lukaku finishing off the Rossoneri with a brilliant goal. The XG indicated it was a fair result, with Inter having a 2.96 XG compared to Milan's 0.71. The XG time map showed that Inter had the better quality chances throughout the game. The stats also showed that Milan, despite having greater possession and more shots on target, failed to capitalize as they succumbed to an Inter counter-attacking masterclass. So what tactics did both teams use? Let's find out. Let's look at the formations. Milan fielded their 4-2-3-1 formation, with Tonali coming in for the injured Benasser, and as for Inter, they fielded their 3-5-2 formation. Christian Eriksen comes in for Arturo Vidal, and Perisic comes in for Ashley Young. Quick note, if you like this video, please make sure to drop a like and do subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you'll never miss another upload. We do videos such as this, as well as team analysis, player analysis, match previews and other good stuff. And do check out our podcast called the Tifosi Culture Podcast, where we cover other trending topics. We've also done a Serie A mid-season review, so do check that out. And if you're a returning viewer or subscriber, I appreciate you loyal, and thank you so much for all your love and support. So let's look at what the home team AC Milan did when they had possession and trying to build up play from the back. AC Milan built out from the back using the two centre backs. They would occasionally split wide and the fullbacks pushed up high. Inter's two forwards, Lautaro and Lukaku, would not look to press the centre backs. However, they would block the passing lanes to the two pivots to try and force the ball out wide to Milan's fullbacks. Once out wide, Perisic and Hakimi would press the fullbacks. This led to Milan struggling to play out from the back in the first few minutes. Hence, Calabria tucked in to form the third centre-back as seen in the average positions, and this created a 3v2 advantage in the first phase of build-up. Once Calabria tucked in to form the third centre-back, Theo would push higher up and wide. Rebic would tuck inside as a result of this and stay close to Ibra to feed off the second balls and knockdowns as seen in the average positions. While Tonali and Kessie would look to remain between the lines, and one of them would drop in front of the defence to help in progressing the ball through the middle. Alternatively, Kessie and sometimes Tonali would drop deep to have more time on the ball, and Calabria would push up like a regular fullback. Kessie had the third most number of progressive carries and attempted the second most number of passes with 69. Calabria would look to play long balls, hoping to connect with Ibra. He attempted the most number of long balls in the Milan side. Calabria was also key to circulating the ball and delivering service for the attackers, as he had the most number of touches in the Milan side and attempted the second most number of crosses when he did attack forward. Inter rarely looked to engage Milan in their own half, as seen by their passes per defensive action, which was 21.31. They only looked to press Milan when they had the ball out wide. Hakan Çalhanoğlu typically tended to drop into the left side alongside the pivots to prevent the midfield from being overloaded 3v2. He would look to receive the ball and try to influence the play from deep by playing raking long balls out wide or try to carry the ball forwards in the first phase of play. Higher up the pitch, however, he tended to occupy the right half space to create overloads when Milan had the ball higher up the pitch, as seen in the average positions. Receiving the ball out wide, he would look to put in crosses for Ibra to head the ball, or he would look to switch the play over to Theo Hernandez and Ante Rebic. He attempted the most number of crosses on the pitch with 8. He finished the game with 2 key passes, the second most among the Milan squad, and 83 touches, the third most in the Milan side, showing that most of the play went through him as well. As mentioned earlier, he would look to switch the play to Theo or Ante Rebic on the left-hand side. Rebic and Theo Hernandez would often tend to switch positions, with Rebic drifting out wide, while Theo Hernandez made runs in the central areas. Theo Hernandez and Ante Rebic had the third and fourth most attempted crosses in the Milan team. Theo had the most number of progressive carries with 16 and the most number of carries into the final third. He also had the second most number of touches in the Milan side. One of Milan's main attacking plays often came through creating overloads on their right, as mentioned earlier. They attacked mostly through their right hand side. Calabria would push higher up and Hakan would occupy the right half space. Tonali or Kessie would shift out wide to add more numbers, and as a result of this, Inter's defensive and midfield lines were stretched. Eriksen shuffled across to prevent Perisic from being outnumbered, while in the defense, Bastoni would go out wide to mark Salamakers. Brozovic would cover. This led to gaps in the defense which either Tonali or Kessie would make runs into, and this was how Milan got a couple of their key chances. In the second half, Milan attacked with much more intensity and should have gone ahead twice, if not for Handanovic making 3 brilliant saves, 2 of Zlatan and 1 of Tonali. In the end, Inter's resolute defending kept the doors to their goal locked shut, and it was all thanks to a dominant defensive display by the back 5. They were also helped tremendously by Marcelo Brozovic, who made 3 tackles, and also Ivan Perisic deserves a shout out, who made 3 tackles and 4 interceptions. He kept things in check in the wide areas. Now let's look at what Inter Milan did when they had the ball. Inter also looked to build out from the back, and De Vrij and either Bastoni or Skriniar would split the width of the box. This caused the other centre-back who was free to push up wide and higher. Rebic and Zlatan would look to press the 2 centre-backs. This would lead to Brozovic dropping in deeper to create a 3v2 advantage, and this led to Hakan stepping out to mark him. The 2 pivots Kessie were tasked to stay on Barella and Tonali on Eriksen. Eriksen would also tend to drop in deeper, and this created space in the central areas. And it was these areas where Lautaro Martinez would often drop into. He would often draw Kjaer out of position, and he would either receive the ball and turn and beat Kjaer, or Lukaku would make a run into that vacated space, anticipating the long ball, and he would try and knock it down for either Barella or Lautaro, waiting for the second ball. But most commonly, Inter would look to play the ball out wide. Once the wingbacks received the ball, this would draw the press of Milan's fullbacks. And as a result, this created space behind them, which Lukaku would look to occupy, and he would look to either hold the ball up and lay it off for Hakimi or Barella, making a run beyond him, or he would look to play quick 1-2s to beat Romagnoli, and he would look to cross it in. And these principles led to Inter scoring their first goal. Barella would often look to drift out wide, thereby drawing Kessie out with him, and this would leave space in the midfield so that Lukaku can drop in to receive the ball, and he will try to play to either Barella or Hakimi or Lautaro. Nicolo Barella ran the show for Milan, having the most touches of the ball, most number of completed passes, most number of progressive passes, and most number of progressive carries into the final third. Inter also looked to create overloads on their right hand side and stretch Milan, and then they would look to immediately switch the play to Perisic, who would be 1v1 with Calabria. He would often win the battle against Calabria, either cutting in and shooting or putting in a cross. He finished the game with 3 key passes, the most in the Inter team, 2 assists, 6 progressive carries, the second most in the Inter team, 3 carries into the final third, which was an outstanding attacking display. In the second half, Milan pressed with a lot more intensity and with more numbers and a higher line, and this led to huge gaps in their midfield and beyond their defense, which was exploited by Inter's clinical efficiency and pace, and this led to Inter scoring 2 other crucial goals. For the third goal, Milan were pushed so high up that only Kessie and the centre-back stayed behind. Perisic gets the ball and plays a long ball straight into the path of Lukaku. Kessie thinks that Lukaku would leave the ball for Barella, and he looked to press Barella before he got the ball, but Barella, drawing Kessie out with him, allows Lukaku space to receive the ball and be on his way. Lukaku's body positioning indicated that either he would make the run to his right side or pass the ball to Hakimi, who's making a run. Hence, Theo Hernandez shifts his position to cover Hakimi, and Romagnoli expected Lukaku to dribble in that direction. But Lukaku, with a quick change of pace and direction, turns the opposite way, wrong-footing Romagnoli, and before Romagnoli can recover, Lukaku has a yard of pace ahead of him. And before Romagnoli catches up to Lukaku, he fires one in the bottom corner, killing off the game. In the end, Antonio Conte put on a masterclass that Pioli had no answer to, and it was an entire team display, right from Handanovic making 3 crucial saves to deny Zlatan and Tonali to Ivan Perisic, who put in a solid all-rounded defensive as well as attacking display. But the man of the match has to go to the new king of Milan, Romelu Lukaku, who scored a goal and an assist for the opener. He also made 3 key passes, and he has also laid to rest any doubts that he is a big match player. And this result sees Inter 4 points clear in the race for the Campionato, while Milan are left to lick their wounds. The good news is they have a chance to ease that pain of this loss if they beat Roma as well as Red Star to progress into the Europa League. So that is it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to drop a like and comment down below any tactics that I might have missed. So I'll see you guys later. Until the next video, peace.